Virginia's most powerful station, WVIR-TV, NBC 29.
From NBC 29, Virginia's most powerful television station, this is Dateline 29 News at 6.
More than 20,000 people converged on the grounds of the University of Virginia to see the class of 1996 perform its final exercises today. Hello, everyone. I'm Lynn Adair. Reverend Jesse Jackson, whose son Yusef was among the law graduates, spoke at the law school's diploma ceremony. NASA astronaut and UVA graduate Catherine C. Thornton delivered the commencement address for the main ceremony.
When his mother, who grew up in Newport News, Virginia, graduated from high school, she could not very well apply to this university for admission. But now, as we have struggled to make Jeffersonian principles more real, we have a son graduating from this institution.
In my office, I have a lapel button that was a friend sent to me, and it has a slogan that I think of from time to time when I feel like I'm becoming a little too comfortable with my life. It says, "The meek will inherit the earth. The rest of us will go to the stars." Each of you sitting here this morning has, if you choose, can go to the stars. The University of Virginia has prepared you well for that adventure.
Approximately 4,300 degrees were awarded today. Well, the armies of Generals Robert E. Lee and Ulysses S. Grant engaged in a devastating battle in Orange County today. But as Allison Burns reports, the wounded at this reenactment suffered mostly from the heat.
At least 4,000 reenactors, 800 horses, hundreds of tents, and a scorching sun set the scene at the largest Civil War reenactment this year, the Battle of the Wilderness.
We want to stop Grant from getting to Richmond. And he's traveling through the wilderness here. And I think we stand a real good chance of doing it.
General Lee's soldiers were also fully outfitted for the battle.
And I'm wearing what they would call a Richmond gray uniform, consisting of a charcoal gray pants, charcoal gray jacket, all made out of wool.
That's right, he said wool on a 96-degree-plus day. But it's all part of trying to relive history.
You can read about this in books, you can watch movies, but you don't know really what those men went through until you get out here, live it for yourself. Camp the way they camped, out in the cold, out in the heat, in the snow, the rain, and endure what they had to go through.
Was it this hot that day?
It was probably hotter because it was drier. And the humidity level was probably just as high as it is now, even though the woods were dry, and as you know, there were fires.
Modern ambulances were making runs all weekend through the battlefield and campsites. Over 150 people were treated on Saturday alone, many of them for heat exhaustion. But others were able to chill out, like this soldier who hardly looks nervous about fighting in one of the Civil War's deadliest battles. In Orange County, Allison Burns, Dateline 29 News.
Stay with us now. Your steamy weather forecast is coming right up.
Currently in Charlottesville, we have 95 degrees under sunny skies. Winds are calm. Humidity 37% today. That's been a good thing. Keep that humidity low. Barometric pressure is falling. High today 96 and a low of 66. Currently in the Shenandoah Valley, 90 degrees under sunny skies. Winds are from the southwest around 6 miles per hour. Humidity 33%, also low. That's a good thing. High today 94 and a low of 63. While our weather watchers definitely reported some high temperatures for us today. Churchville had a high of 93, Stanton 95, Weir's Cave 94, Wintergreen 86. That's the low spot. Stanley had a high of 94 along with Orange. Ruckersville and Gordonsville 91, Troy and Lake Monticello 94. Well, we're not the only ones suffering from this heat. As you can see, 90-degree temperatures stretch all the way up into portions of New England and, of course, back and through Texas. And this is all because of a southwesterly breeze that is pretty persistent, keeps bringing us that warm air, and so we've got 90-degree temperatures. However, your day for tomorrow is going to be pretty much the same. High pressure will dominate, and we'll see temperatures almost reach around 100, so please be advised, be careful out in this heat. But fortunately, we're going to see this cold front that you see here slowly sink down into Virginia over the next couple of days. So we're going to have a break in the heat by possibly late Tuesday, early Wednesday. So we're going to watch this just sink down and also see a few showers push up to the north. And we'll see a few thunderstorms happen on Wednesday and Thursday. Here's your forecast tonight. Warm, clear skies tonight. Lows will be around 68 to 73 degrees. Your forecast for tomorrow, hot, sunshiny day. Same thing for the Shenandoah Valley. Temperatures will almost be around 100 degrees. Here's your 3-day forecast. As you can see, Tuesday we've got more sunshine and warm temperatures. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, the rain comes and we will see a decrease in this heat.
Boy, we're going to be looking forward to that. Thanks, Eva. We've got more news when we come. Tonight, we begin a week-long look at deceit in America. The series is titled Lie, Cheat, and Steal. And where better to start than politics, an institution that increasingly alienates American voters. Many people think politicians are always lying to them. Are they? And if they are, how do they go about it? Tim MURTAUGH has more.
You've seen the numbers and heard the analysts lamenting. Voter turnout in America is generally embarrassingly low. Could the public's avoidance of politics have anything to do with politicians themselves? Maybe so, but one thing we do know is that when campaigning, politicians often play loose with the truth. For example, when Oliver North ran for Senate in Virginia in 1994, he was linked with David Duke, former Ku Klux Klan leader and candidate for governor of Louisiana. This despite the fact that North had campaigned against Duke. Chuck Robb's campaign ran radio ads with the misleading Duke story and used something called push polling, direct phone calls designed to plant rumors or flat-out lies. Hello? University of Virginia political analyst Larry Sabato says misinformation and outright deceit is found in both Republican and Democratic camps. His newest book, Dirty Little Secrets, details the continuing corruption of American politics.
It's not that motives have changed. It's not that the basis of politics is really any different than it was 100 years ago. It's just that the technology enables politicians and political consultants to be much more pervasive in their use of corrupt practices.
In Charlottesville, the race for state senate brought a mailing from a group calling itself Dems for Day. The mailing urged voters to vote for independent candidate Donald Day instead of Democrat Emily Kurrick. The mailing turned out to be funded by Republicans. In the General Assembly, House Majority Leader Dick Cranwell solemnly described how dozens of people would lose their jobs if a nursing school didn't receive financial help from the state. In fact, the school had no plans to close its doors if it didn't get the money. While local politicians are generally more above the board than state or federal lawmakers, Sabato says the mood is right for a major political scandal.
At regular intervals, there's a mega scandal, and it brings all of the corrupt practices together and into focus. The last one we had was Watergate in the 1970s, and we're a generation away from that. And in that generation, standards have declined drastically.
So, what to do? In Virginia, there's just about always a campaign going on, and Sabato says the way to stop negativism and deceits is to vote against the ones who use it.
Eternal vigilance is the only answer. Disclosure is the only answer. Sunshine is the best disinfectant. So the media and the citizenry generally have to constantly ask questions and ask the right questions over and over again.
In Richmond, Tim MURTAUGH, Dateline 29 News.
On Saturday, 127 kids from Central Virginia raced in the Waynesboro Soapbox Derby Classic. Today, roughly half that number sped down Main Street, but the competition was even tougher. They raced in the Commonwealth Games, and it was open to youngsters all over the state. Our trustee Todd Hawkins went along for the ride.
Lynn, let me tell you and the folks what this is all about. The Commonwealth Games are Virginia's official state games as recognized by the U.S. Olympic Committee. The games are comprised of 44 different events, and Waynesboro is hosting the first event, the soapbox races. Now, the amazing thing about these little kit cars, they get going up to 29 miles per hour. The neat thing about the Commonwealth Games is that all the kids are able to participate. 14-year-old Becky I from Dayton and 12-year-old Ryan Motes of Stanton are deaf. sign language interpreter Liz Cook helped with the start, but that was it. So although there may be special circumstances, there are no allowances. The kids all compete against each other. There's no handicap division. They each build and race their own cars.
The next car is ready to come on down the hill.
My mom and dad informed me about this race, and then they wanted to know if they could involve me, and I said, sure. It was a lot of fun, and I wanted sort of to get a medal and trophy.
Oh, I love it when a plan comes together. Not only did Becky I win the stock division, she was the only competitor not to lose a single heat. I was a perfect 12-0. 13-year-old Lucas Harmon of Waynesboro was the other overall winner. The Cape Collins middle schooler was the super stock champion. Yeah, in closing, one of the event organizers really said something I think was meaningful. He observed that there was a great amount of sportsmanship by the kids. You hear a lot about kids having bad attitudes these days. Well, none of that out here today. They all congratulated each other and encouraged each other. It was really nice to see. All right, that's it from here. Back to you, Lynn.
Thanks a lot, Todd. And Mo's coming up next with all the rest of the day's sports news. Stay with us. Mo joins us now. A lot of action going on today for UVA sports teams in general.
That's true, and we're going to start off with the Virginia women's lacrosse team. The Cavs were looking to add another national title to their impressive history this afternoon against undefeated Maryland, but it wasn't meant to be. The Terps doubled up the Cavs 10-5 to win the championship. Kate Evans had 2 goals for Virginia. The Cavs finished their season 14-4. Meanwhile, the men's team traveled to Baltimore to face off against Harvard in the quarterfinals of the NCAA tournament. The Cavs' high-octane offense blistered Harvard's defense from the outset of this one and rolled to a 23-12 win. They played it at Johns Hopkins. Dom Starsia's team got out to a quick start first quarter. Tim Whiteley finds David Curry cutting through, and he sends the shot top shelf. Who's were up by 1. Virginia got a big day from Doug Knight. He returned after sitting out a month due to injury. Here he bangs in the fast break goal, and UVA pushed their lead to 6 at the end of 1. Second quarter, Knight strikes again. This time, Michael Watson spots Knight with a quick shot and the goal. He had 5 goals today, and they led it by 9 at the break. Second half, Tim Whiteley delivers a beautiful shot. He takes the bounce pass, comes up with the no-look behind-the-back blast into the net. An incredible goal by Whiteley. He had 2 goals and 6 assists. UVA led it by 13. David Curry was also the big man on campus. He splits the defense and scores his 5th goal of the game, and the Cavs crushed the Crimson in the final 23-12. Virginia is back in the Final Four. The semifinals begin next Saturday. The battle for the ACC Baseball Tournament Championship came down to 1 game today in Durham. Virginia was searching for their first conference tourney title against Florida State. The Cavs had their ace on the mound, Seth Greisinger, that is. Let's head to Carolina. Dennis Womack has done a wonderful job with this team. They jumped all over the Knowles pitcher. E.J. Anderson with the deep shot to right field. Lousy camera work, but it was a good home run. Trust me, Cavs were up 6-0 in the third. Anderson connected again in the fourth. He rips the shot to right, and it curls inside the foul pole. Cavs were up 10-0. Meanwhile, Seth Greisinger was in total control. He had a no-hitter broken up in the 7th inning. Here, he gets the strikeout, and then in the 9th inning, Greisinger was still on the mound. He gets the grounder to go to short, and they pick it up and over to first for the last out. The Virginia Cavaliers capture their first ACC tournament title. They dumped Florida State 12-1. Greisinger gave up just 2 hits and was named the tourney's MVP. Well, the day is finally here. The matchup everyone's been waiting for all season long. The Bulls and Magic in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Penny and Michael, Horace and Scotty, Shaq and Luke Longley. Okay, maybe that's a stretch, but it's exciting nonetheless. They played it at Chicago, the United Center. Luke and Shaq. And Longley took the diesel to the rack, slammed it home. Bulls came out charging in this one. Later in the quarter, Michael Jordan spins, drives, gets the basket in the foul. Bulls were up by 10. The Magic got a bit of a boost at the end of the first quarter. Penny Hardaway with time running down from half court, and he banks it in. But the Magic were down by 10 at the half. The Bulls went on a run in the third quarter. Michael to Scotty. Pippen for the jam. Chicago was in total control. A few minutes later, on the move again, Jordan soars through for the layup and the foul. He finished with 21 points. The Bulls led it by 25. They went on to rout the Magic 121-83. Orlando has established themselves as one of the premier teams in the league by working a little magic in the NBA's draft lottery. Today, the league decided who would receive the top pick in this year's draft, and the winner is the Philadelphia 76ers. They are followed by Toronto, Vancouver, Milwaukee, and Minnesota. On the diamonds today, the Orioles and Mariners are wrapping up their weekend set at Camden Yards. O's down by 3 in the 5th, but Rafael Palmeiro cuts into the lead. Rafi's going the other way with a solo home run, and the lead was down to 1. They went in front in the 6th inning. Roberto Alomar swings the big bat to right center, and goodbye. The 3-run blast put the O's up 8-7. That's the final. Baltimore slips by Seattle 8-7. Let's check out the scores from the American League. And while we're here, let's check out the scores from the National League. And that is Sunday in Sports.
All right, thanks a lot, Mo. Sure. We're coming back. Stay with us. Mo says they're still at it on the links at Lake Monticello.
That's right, the final round of the Faulkner Invitational, and we will have highlights and reaction for you at 11. David Bell had a 9-stroke lead coming in. I don't think he folded. He probably is going to win that. Well, we will have the highlights at 11.
Good. We'll be looking forward to it. Thanks, Mo. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here at 11. Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Good night.